I'm Pastor Peter Lobmiller, and I want to welcome you to the Sunday Morning Faith Start. You have your cup of coffee, you're sitting there in your jammies, or maybe you're getting ready for church, or you'll soon be getting ready for church if you're in said jammies. But as you're getting ready for church, or making yourself get ready for church, remember, this Faith Start, as all of them, are designed to get you ready to go to church. Hit that ground running. Church should be something that we look forward to all week. That's how good it should be. That's how much fun it should be. And if it's not, maybe you're going to the wrong church, or maybe you just have to change your mind, change your attitude. It depends. What do you expect to get out of church? What do you think you're going to get out of it? You're going to sit there for a couple hours and wish it was over so you could go do something else? That's not the way to come to God. I assume you love God, don't you? I assume you do. If you love God, you can spend a little bit of time with Him. You know, I mean, you should be doing it during the week in prayer and getting more word into you. But, you know, if not, you still need church whether you are or not. A good church, faith-filled, powerful church. Let's look today at Luke, the 12th chapter. I'm going to start with the 30th verse here. It says, "For all these things," Jesus is talking, "all these things do the nations of the world seek after, and your Father knows that you have need of these things." Well, what things was he thinking about? Well, I listed these in 4 orders instead of reading all the scriptures. Remember, it is Sunday morning early. We still have to wake up. So number 1, he said in the 22nd verse, "Take no thought for your life, what you shall eat, neither for the body, what you shall put on." So number 1, don't fear and worry about what's going to happen in your life. Don't worry about what you're going to eat. Don't worry about what kind of clothes you're going to wear. Number 2, in the 25th verse, he said, "And which of you taking thought can add to his stature 1 cubit?" Well, we kind of gloss over that, but that's very important. That has to do with how you feel about yourself and how you think others are perceiving you. That's a big thing. You know, I had a friend once who said the most important thing to me is the respect of others. Now, that was him. A lot of people don't feel that way, but that was him. See, but he says, which of you, because you're taking thought, because you're worrying about it, which of you can add to the way people think about it, to your stature? What can you do about it? Can't do much about it. Number 3, in the 28th verse, Jesus says, "If then God so clothe the grass, which is today in the field, tomorrow is cast in the oven, how much more will He clothe you of little faith?" Back to the clothes, because clothes are important. You know, I mean, we want to, all of us individuals, we want to dress different ways. We want to have work clothes when we're going to work. We want to have dress clothes when we need dress clothes. You know, I go to church, I wear a suit and a tie. But when I work on my car, I don't have a suit and a tie on. That's good. See, so he said, don't worry. How much more does God know that you need clothes? And not only clothes, but the kind of clothes you and me want. And just talking there's at least 3 different kinds of clothes that people are going to want. If you're a woman, you want woman clothes. I don't. All right. So then number 4, he reiterates in the 29th verse, "And seek not what you shall eat or what you shall drink, neither be ye of doubtful mind." Well, first of all, you have to remember, a lot of people have in the past, they're not looking at it in a faith-filled capacity. So when they say seek not what you shall eat, because God knows what you should eat. They start thinking, oh, we're going to have just food that nourishes you. Doesn't taste good. It's the same thing. That's not what he's saying here. He says, don't worry about what you shall drink and eat. He knows what you want to eat. Neither be of doubtful mind. There's a key there. Don't doubt it. He knows. Well, I wonder if he cares. There, you're of doubtful mind. Don't be of doubtful mind. Take him at his word. He's trustworthy. But then he comes down to the 31st verse, and he says, but instead of that, seek ye first the kingdom of God, and all these things will be added unto you. And he goes on and he says, fear not. Don't be in fear, little flock. It is your Father's good pleasure to give you the kingdom. Now, what does that exactly mean? Well, pleasure here in the Greek signifies to be well pleased and to think it's good. So when the Father gives you the kingdom, he thinks it's a good thing. He is well pleased. And then the translator goes on and says, not merely an understanding, because there's a couple different words for pleasure in the Greek. This one, not merely an understanding of what's right and good, but stressing the willingness and freedom of an intention or resolve regarding what's good. So it's not just, yes, it's a good thing, but he stresses the freedom, the willingness, and the intention of you getting what's good to you. And then the kingdom. It's his pleasure to give you the kingdom. Well, you think about, it's his pleasure to give you the kingdom. What does that exactly mean? Have you ever thought about that? I've thought about that. And I haven't looked it up before now. And I've thought about that, and I'll tell you what, once I looked it up, I hadn't thought about this. The word kingdom here means sovereignty, royal power, and dominion. It's the Father is well pleased, and he thinks it's good to give you sovereignty, royal power, and dominion. Well, now, wait a minute. If you have royal power, dominion, and sovereignty, then why would you worry about what you're going to eat and drink, or what you're going to clothe, or your stature, or any of these other things? Well, you just call that stuff in. By faith, food come. And not just what kind of food. Well, anything God wants me to have. No. He's given you the dominion and the power. What kind of food do you want? See, now there's some people who they might say, I want a T-bone steak. But other people say, no way. Yeah, I had lunch the other day with a couple of friends from the other end of the United States. They just came back from a trip to Prague. And they're vegetarians. And I asked them, was the food good? And they kind of looked at each other, and they looked at me and they said, yeah, it was okay. And I got to thinking, maybe because they're vegetarians, at any rate, whatever the reason is, they weren't really concerned about the food. Now me, is the food good? Oh man, I mean, go to some of these places and I want to try that food I've been hearing about, you see. So it's not just what God thinks is good food. It's what you think is good food. It's what you think is good clothing. It's what the stature, mighty man of God, kingdom, sovereign, full of power, don't have to fear. Not only are my needs met, but I can get all my desires met. Whatever it is you want, whatever it is, whatever the good things you want, God gave the plan for you to have it, to receive it. Well, would you have learned that if you hadn't been in church? Oh, that's right. This is the Faith Starter. This isn't church yet. Well, I'm Pastor Peter Lobmiller, and I'll see you in church.